What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Amazon barcodes, UPC, GS1, what it all is, how it works, and exactly step by step what you need to do to get your first product selling on Amazon correctly. I'm also going to talk about the most common mistakes and things to watch out for when you're going through this process. First of all, what the heck is the difference between a barcode, UPC, EAN, FNSKU, and an ASIN? So UPC stands for Universal Product Code. This is one of the important ones you need to know. It's basically a worldwide system for identifying almost any product out there. Picture your local department store. If you go and pick a product off the shelf, you take it to the clerk to get it checked out and to buy it. What they're going to do is they're going to scan the little barcode, which is a UPC code on that product, and it's going to go through their system, and their system is going to be able to identify what it is and how much it costs. So just imagine that same thing has to happen at Amazon. A worker within the Amazon warehouse needs to have a barcode on every product so that they can scan it, work out what it is, where it needs to go, where it's coming from, etc. So UPC is the most common one and one of the two codes that we're going to be focused on today. The other one is the EAN, which is the European Article Number. Now guys, don't worry about this. It's just the UPC. So the UPC has 12 digits and the EAN has 13 digits. If you want to convert a UPC into an EAN, which you won't have to do, but if you want to, all you do is add a 0 to the front of the UPC and you have the EAN. So the next thing is the ASIN or ASIN. That's Amazon's web catalog identifier. So if you're doing your listing optimization, you're creating your listing, or if you're browsing their webpage, you're going to see things cataloged by ASIN. But for the purposes of this video, which is labeling your product, sending it into Amazon, don't worry about the ASIN. Now, lastly, we have the FNSKU. Now, this is a barcode similar to the UPC, but it's actually Amazon specific. So Amazon creates the FNSKU based on a UPC barcode that you give it, and then that FNSKU is going to be unique to you as the seller. And this concept is a bit confusing, but basically two sellers can sell the same product or the same ASIN that has the same UPC, but both of those sellers will have their own unique FNSKU. So for the purpose of this video, just worry about the UPC and the FNSKU. Second question is, do I need a UPC? If you're doing private label and you're creating your own branded product, which is not on Amazon yet, then yes, you do need to use a UPC to create the listing. If you're doing wholesale or retail arbitrage, where you're purchasing products that are already existing on Amazon system and then you're just going to become another seller of that same listing, then no, you don't need a UPC. But note that all of those products already have one. So there's one exception to this, and that's if you have brand registry already. So if you're brand approved, then you can use an alternative or apply for an exemption and use a manufacturer part number. And that's just a number that you can make up. So in that case, you don't need a UPC. But the brand registry process takes months to complete because you need a trademark to be approved. And so that's going to cost you hundreds of dollars and it's going to take a lot of time. So for now, if you're getting your first product into Amazon, you're not going to have that and you do need a UPC. So now that you know that you need a UPC barcode to sell your first product on Amazon, should you buy it from GS1 or from another seller? So as a bit of context, according to Amazon's policies, you need to have a barcode from GS1. Now guys, I'm pretty hesitant to recommend to you anything that goes against what Amazon's policies state, but in this specific case, I've never heard of anybody, whether they have just one product or whether they're doing 6, 7, or even 8 figures annually, who's had an issue with a non-GS1 barcode. And I can tell you that the vast majority of Amazon sellers use non-GS1 barcodes, and there's a very simple reason for that, and that's the cost. So a GS1 barcode will cost you $250 plus $50 every year. If you go with a third-party website like Speedy Barcodes or Nationwide Barcode, that cost is going to be $5 or less. So again, that's up to you to decide. If $300 and $50 a year is no issue to you, then by all means go ahead with GS1. Otherwise, I do believe that those other sellers are legitimate and reliable as well. Okay, so you've got the UPC barcode. Then what? What happens next? How do you correctly label your product so that Amazon can receive it? So first of all, you're going to take the UPC and you're going to go into Amazon, and then you're going to use the UPC to create the listing. But what you're going to do is, once that's created, you're going to print an FNSKU label based off that listing. And it's the FNSKU label, which is specific to you, the seller, not the UPC label that needs to go on the product. So I'm going to show you that now. Okay, so once we have the UPC, we're going to go into Amazon Seller Central, go to Inventory, add a product. And then we're going to scroll down here, go to Create a New Product Listing. You can either search for the category if you want, or just pick one using this table, and I'm gonna pick one at random, pet supplies, other pet supplies is fine. Select, and that'll move forwards. Then here we have the listing description. So for now, we don't need to worry about this. I'm gonna go straight to this offer, and you can see all these little red boxes with the red asterisk and the big red exclamation mark. So this is Amazon telling you that you can't create this listing until you fill all of this stuff in. Let me just click let me skip offer data and add it later. So that's gonna get rid of this being required. We go to vital info. Now product ID is where you're gonna enter UPC that you've just purchased. So I'm gonna enter that in there and make sure that you click UPC. Product name, I'll make this up, Sport Dog Collar. I'll call it Sport Dog, and the manufacturer as well, Sport Dog. So once we've created that listing, let's go to inventory, manage inventory, and print the FNSKU labels for this product. So we can either do it here, print item labels, or using this menu. So let's print the item labels. And depending on whether you're gonna send just one label to your graphics designer to get it printed on the packaging itself, or you're actually printing these as stickers to send to your supplier. If you're just doing it to your graphics designer, one is fine, but if you are printing them as stickers, then print as many labels as you have units. So if you've got 100 units to send, then let's print 100 labels. So go pick the size, that one's fine, print item labels, and Amazon will just warn you to cover up all existing barcodes with these new ones. So that's fine. Click OK, and then you can send that PDF onto your supplier. Okay guys, I'm gonna finish with the most important tips that I've learned in my business. I use these to make the process run really smoothly and efficiently for me. So first of all, the question is, once you have the FNSKU label printed out of Amazon for your specific product, do you apply it yourself when the goods arrive in the States, or do you get your supplier to do it? So I will straight away send those labels to my supplier to do it. And the reason is scale, guys. So you want to keep hands off from this business as much as possible. You shouldn't be the person sticking labels onto boxes. Some people are scared that the supplier will then know that you're selling on Amazon and they'll be able to track your product and then to copy it and to steal all your sales. That's a fear that's just going to hold you back from scaling and from growing your business. The truth is that everybody in China knows that we're selling on Amazon anyway. So you have the FNSKU label, which you printed from your seller account for that product from Amazon. So forget about the UPC labels and UPC codes from now on. They are no longer relevant. Take the FNSKU label, and here's a trick that I do. Get it printed directly on the packaging. So here is an example of a packet of tea, and you can see that it's actually printed directly on the cardboard design. It's not a sticker. So I do that with all of my products. Get the PDF FNSKU label and send it to your graphics designer or whoever is designing your packaging for you. And if it's possible, which normally it is, have it printed directly on that design. So it comes out on the cardboard and you don't have to worry about stickers. Next thing, whether or not you're doing it directly on the packaging or as a sticker, make sure that you have it on every single product. So if you're selling 1,000 books, make sure that you have 1,000 labels, one for each book. And guys, this is my next point as well, is that Amazon only wants to see one label. So you can see here that there's one label underneath and then it's been stuck over but not completely covered. So don't do that. Only have one label. If you need to stick a new label on top, completely cover it. One quick tip, while you're doing all of this labeling and packaging design stuff, make sure that you have made in China or made in country of origin printed on every single label. So either below the FNSKU label or somewhere else on the packaging design. And again, if you have 1,000 books to sell, then you should have made in China printed 1,000 times, one time on every single book. That's a customs requirement. So to get your goods into the United States or wherever legally, you have to have that on there. It has to be written legibly, clearly, and permanently. If you don't do that, you're opening yourself up to big issues with your shipments down the line. Okay guys, that's it. Amazon barcodes explained. So I hope by now you've realized that you need a UPC if you're doing private label. You probably don't need to purchase the UPC from GS1. You need to use that UPC to create an Amazon listing and then create an FNSKU label. And the FNSKU label needs to go on every single product that you're sending to Amazon FBA. That's all there is to it, guys. Hope you go out there and kill it with your first product. I hope that you found this video super valuable. I know for me, this was something that was really confusing when I was starting. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you found it valuable, please give me a thumbs up. Please also subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out new videos every week on my perspective and what I've learned as a 7-figure Amazon seller. Please also click the notification bell button so that you can be notified as I put those videos out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.